You're watching KOCO 5. Live, local, late breaking. This is KOCO 5 News at 5 o'clock in high definition.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jessica Shambach.
And I'm Paul Folger. It has been a day of nonstop breaking news across our area. We've got a crew in southwest Oklahoma City for a deadly police chase, reporters in Stillwater for a near beheading, plus a standoff in Bethany.
In Duncan, police are guarding a school for threats, and in Norman, news of a plea deal from an OU football player. We're going to start, though, with that chase and shooting, and KOCO's Bree Steffen.
Well, Paul and Jessica, just a few blocks from this crime scene, there is an elementary school and a high school. And this shooting happened right as the kids were being let out for the day. Now, police also tell me that this park is usually packed with kids for an after-school program. Now, this all began when the Metro Fugitive Task Force was watching an armed robbery suspect. They tried to pick him up, but he led officers on a wild chase that ended here at Draper Park, with him driving over the curb and then trying to run away. Police say the suspect did have a gun and they were forced to shoot him. Witnesses I spoke with describe hearing those fatal gunshots.
We heard one at first, and then after that you just hear boom, 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 boom. So I'm guessing it's more than 7, because it was a lot and it lasted for a little bit.
Now, there was also a woman in the truck during the chase and the shooting, but she is unharmed and is in police custody. Now, right now, police are still interviewing witnesses, and this whole area is being sealed off until they can finish their investigation and figure out exactly what went on here. For now, reporting live in Oklahoma City, Bree Steffen, KOCO 5 News.
Bree, thank you. Also, the South Penn campus of Moore Norman Technology Center was evacuated today. Somebody found an unattended briefcase in a bathroom. There's the scene from Sky 5. The all clear was given just a short time ago, about 4:30. Police say an elderly man forgot his briefcase in the bathroom.
And a boy was hit by a car this afternoon in southwest OKC. Sky 5 was over this one near 48th and Land. No word right now on how that boy is doing. And in Stillwater, police say a 19-year-old was murdered by a man who reportedly fantasized about committing multiple homicides.
Isaiah Morin is in jail. He's charged in the death of Jacob Crockett. We are all over this story with team coverage this afternoon.
So we'll start with Morgan Chesky right now. Morgan?
Now, Paul, Jess, right now, Isaiah Morin behind bars here at Payne County Jail, all after confessing to a crime he called a fantasy.
It's the photo capturing the aftermath. Isaiah Morin walking through a parking lot, his right hand clutching a machete, his face you can't see, covered in blood.
Our first call came into the police department from the suspect himself, stating that he had killed somebody.
Morin's own words, hacked to death. Police say he rambled on about sacrifices and magic, jogging down a busy road, holding onto that knife till officers moved in.
Considering the gravity of the crime he just committed, probably more rational than I would have thought.
The crime Morin later confessed to, killing friend Jacob Crockett, a murder he told police he wanted to turn into a killing spree. Morin's own brother witnessed to that crime in apartment 6, who said Isaiah's Christian views clashed with Crockett's belief in witchcraft, a disagreement that now brings charges of first-degree murder. In Stillwater, Morgan Chesky, KOCO 5 News.
And KOCO's Ariana Garza has been talking with the victim's friends in Stillwater.
She joins us now live. And Ariana, what have you learned?
Now we've learned that Jacob Crockett met his alleged killer in high school, and we're also told that they started living together recently.
Jacob Crockett's murder is a nightmare Nkosi Foley can't wake up from. He formed this band, Toxic Injection, with Jacob's twin, Jesse. Their longtime friendship with Isaiah Morin didn't strike Foley as odd until September.
They said, oh yeah, he's living with us now, but he's kind of gone a little insane, I guess you could say. And I said, well, what do you mean by that? And they said, well, he pretty much all he talks about is a bunch of stuff he's read from the Old Testament, a bunch of fire and brimstone talk about heaven and hell.
Now, Foley also tells me that Marin and Crockett would sometimes argue, and also that Marin would sometimes talk about weapons of God. Now, I'm told that Crockett was a devout Christian, so his friends are not really sure why he would have been targeted. Live in Stillwater, Ariana Garza, KOCO 5 News.
Ariana, thank you. And homeowners evacuated in Bethany after a standoff there with police nearby.
Yeah, after several hours, the suspect finally surrendered. Dave Detling is live near Northwest 39th and Council with the very latest. Dave?
Hey, good evening, Paul and Jess. Well, the scene here back to normal, but I'm told by investigators that this all started around 11 o'clock when trash workers were picking up garbage. They noticed the driver of that red car behind me come speeding down an alleyway about 80 miles per hour. Scared for their lives, they jumped out of the way and immediately called 911. Now, we know the name of that suspect. He has been identified as 31-year-old Kevin Enneking. This entire standoff, like I said, started around 11 a.m. and ended just before 3 o'clock this afternoon. There were multiple agencies on location, people in the area of Patty and Spyglass Lanes told to stay indoors. It was unclear if Enneking was armed or dangerous. Now, negotiators with the Oklahoma County SWAT team tried to talk Enneking out over the bullhorn system. They even sent in their K9 unit, even used their RoboCam. Now, Bethany police had jurisdiction over the standoff, but when they couldn't peacefully talk the suspect out, they called for backup.
We kept trying that for a while. Eventually we did decide to contact the Oklahoma County Sheriff's Office and ask for their SWAT team to respond to assist us.
And it turns out Enneking was not armed or dangerous. They did not find any firearms in the home behind me. We are told that drugs are believed to be a factor. Live in Bethany, Dave Detling, KOCO 5 News.
Dave, thank you. Hazmat crews swarmed a parking lot of a Southwest Oklahoma City law firm this morning. Employees reported finding an envelope with a white powdery substance inside. Officials determined that substance was not harmful, and authorities then determined the letter came from the Oklahoma County Jail.
Terror at an Oklahoma school. A Duncan student in custody after police say he threatened to shoot his classmates.
KOCO's Brian Schlonsky is live at Duncan High with the very latest. Brian?
Yeah, well, officers lined this sidewalk you see here behind me nearly all throughout the school day, even after they say they caught the student who was responsible for making those threats. Take a look. You can see officers all around the Duncan campus. This was after one of the students here posted a threatening message on a phone app. Now, police say part of that message was, quote, "All white boys get bullets and don't come to school tomorrow if you're innocent," shooting at Duncan High. Now, many parents kept their kids home today. The school actually excused those absences. Tonight on KOCO News at 6, we'll talk to some very concerned parents who were worried about their children all throughout the day. Paul, Jess.
Yeah, I can imagine, Brian. Thank you. An Oklahoma man who pleaded guilty to murder wants to withdraw his plea. You're looking at Kevin Sweat there. He was sentenced last week to 3 life sentences after pleading guilty to 3 murders in Ofuskee County. In exchange for the plea, prosecutors dropped the death penalty. There is a hearing tomorrow because Sweat wants to withdraw his guilty plea. OU freshman Joe Mixon took a plea deal. He was accused of hitting a woman at Pickleman's restaurant in Norman this summer, and we just got word into the newsroom that police returned the videotape of that punch to the restaurant, and now the restaurant plans to destroy it at any moment, so we will never actually get to witness that tape and see what was on it. Let's go to KOCO's Wendell Edwards now, who is in Norman, talking about this plea deal and what it involves. Wendell.
Yeah, Jessica, that plea deal happened this morning with the Cleveland County District Attorney's Office. Joe Mixon entered what's called an Alford plea. That means he still gets to maintain his innocence, but the court sees this as a guilty plea. He must serve 100 hours of community service and undergo counseling. Prosecutors accused Mixon of punching Amelia Molitor on July 25th inside Pickles Cafe in Norman, breaking her bones and breaking 4 bones in her face. She was never charged, though reports say she actually slapped him first. In fact, that's what the video actually shows. Video now, apparently, that we will never see. Coming up tonight at 6, though, Joe Mixon apologized through his attorney. We'll tell you what else he had to say. Right now, we're live in Norman. Wendell Edwards, KOCO 5 News.
Wendell, we'll see you at 6. 4 people are dead after a small plane crashed in Wichita, Kansas today. Officials believe the pilot crashed that small plane into a flight training building at the airport. The pilot died. 3 people inside the building died. 5 people were hurt. Authorities said the plane lost power just after takeoff, tried to return to the airport when it crashed. Sky 5 was above a car accident this morning in Norman. This involved 5 different vehicles, one on top of itself. It was on Flood Avenue between Franklin Road and 24th Avenue near Northwest. All of the lanes were closed at one point.
Tell you what, Sky 5 has been busy today. Let's go back to Sky 5 now. Over a park at Southwest Grand in Robinson. This is where a chase suspect was shot and killed by police. Police out there right now investigating.
And turning the heater on for the first time this fall, an update on the hard freeze coming into Oklahoma as we go into the weekend.
Live, local, late breaking. This is KOCO 5 News at 5 with Jessica Shambach, Paul Folger, and Oklahoma City's most accurate forecast with Chief Meteorologist Damon Lane. Now, KOCO 5 News continues.
The world's leading producer of crash test dummies is now making an overweight dummy.
And KOCO Sally Kidd has details from Washington.
Crash test dummies are packing on the pounds in response to rising obesity levels in America. Humanetics is making a new model that weighs in around 270 pounds. That's 100 pounds heavier than the standard test dummy. Car and insurance companies use these dummies to measure how safe humans will be in a car accident. The company says obese drivers are more likely to die in a crash, so there should be a dummy that can test how seatbelts and airbags handle these heavier occupants. Now, Humanetics is developing test dummies for other segments of the population, including the elderly. An elderly test dummy is in the works. Reporting from Washington, I'm Sally Kidd.
Okay, Sally, thank you. Sounds like a good idea. Walmart may start price matching with its online rivals. The world's largest retailer matches prices of local store competitors. Well, Walmart officials didn't say exactly when, though, they would make the final decision on online price matching. So how much time a month do you think you spend using the internet or, your apps on your phone?
Yeah, probably more than you think. There's some new research that says American adults spend 43 hours a month on their phone. I think I believe this.
That's almost 2 days.
Yeah, the study also found most smartphone users have about 42 apps, but the majority use only 10 on a daily basis. Now, I bet you can guess the most popular ones. Facebook, YouTube, Google Play, Google Search, and Google Maps.
Well, put the first weather app into your favorites, too, for KOCO.
Because we need to know all the time around here what is going on.
Because the weather's always changing.
Yeah. It is, and it's changing in a big way in the coming days. I mean, you look outside right now, it is a beautiful fall afternoon. Nice. It's almost one of those days you just want to open the windows in your house and let Mother Nature cool things down. Look at this gorgeous shot coming in from Sky 5 this afternoon, flying over Oklahoma City. And again, you can see there's a Devon Tower, there's downtown. And I expect that the weather tonight is going to be the type of night where you go outdoors and you say, now this is why I like fall in Oklahoma. Now, if you go outside tomorrow night or even Saturday morning, you say, maybe I don't like this weather so much. Let's talk a lot about what's happening now and what's coming in the days ahead. Right now, 75 degrees here in Oklahoma City. It has been a beautiful afternoon. It's been a little windy out there. 75 in Oklahoma City, 72 in Tuttle right now, 73 in Norman, 75 in Goldsby. All of us finding temperatures hanging in the mid to upper 70s. Tomorrow afternoon, almost 20 degrees cooler. But if you are headed out this evening, I know there are some towns that are going to be doing some trick-or-treating tonight, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. Chilly and breezy, feeling like fall. Temperatures from the 60s down into the 50s. Lows across the state tonight, down to 43 degrees in Stillwater, 45 in Seminole, and right here in Oklahoma City, 45 degrees. So a chilly night tonight, even can call it cold and breezy. There will be a wind chill factor tomorrow morning when you wake up. It's going to feel a lot more like the lower 40s. Lots of sunshine tomorrow afternoon, but one thing you're going to notice, not a lot of warmth. Look at this. At noon, only 50 degrees. It will be a chilly afternoon with a high of only 56 degrees. So you're sitting in your office tomorrow, you look out your window, it may look warm, but when you go outside, it will not feel warm. Again, temperatures only in the mid-50s here in Oklahoma City. It's well below average. Average is 69 degrees, only 55 in Ponca City, 55 in Enid, 57 for a high temperature in Clinton. Headed out tomorrow night, it is cold at 7 o'clock.
45 degrees. That is cold. And tomorrow will be the coldest Halloween that we have had since 2002. If you remember, 2002 was actually only 43 degrees for a high temperature. So temperatures will be tumbling as we go into the next couple days here, and then they'll climb as we go into Sunday, Monday before they drop again into early next week. Freeze is coming for Saturday morning. We're likely going to see, again, a hard freeze setting up in northern and eastern Oklahoma here. A freeze watch for Oklahoma City and the surrounding metro communities. Temperatures are falling as we go into Saturday morning. It will be the coldest morning that we have had so far this fall season, down to 27 degrees in Ponca City, 28 for a low temperature in Stillwater, 31 in Oklahoma City. This freeze will last for at least 7 hours here. Damaging frost is likely between 2 and 9 a.m. So after having record highs last weekend, now we're setting up for getting pretty close to record lows in some parts of the state as we go in the Saturday morning. The record low, 25 degrees. So this is cold. As we go into early next week, next rain chance on Monday and Tuesday. Rain is likely. Already looking at an 80% chance of rain coming in here early next week. Slow commute is expected for Monday and Tuesday. How much rain are we talking about? A 1/10 to 1 inch of rain out in western Oklahoma. As we go in towards central and eastern Oklahoma, 1 to 2 inches of rainfall without much of any threat for severe weather coming in here because it will be spaced out over 2 days. Just a low end risk for a little bit of ponding of water on the road there, but otherwise we do not have any type of threat for tornadoes, hail, or wind. So as we look at the 5+5 day forecast going out the next 10 days, again, tomorrow it is a cold Halloween. Do not dress like you've been dressing over the last couple of days. You certainly want to head out the door with a jacket, and you're going to have that jacket even with you during the afternoon. As we go into the weekend here, temperatures climb. Sunday's going to be a better day than Saturday. Temperature-wise, up near 70 degrees. Here comes that chance for rain on Monday and Tuesday. 68 down to 55 degrees. But even as we go out into next week and look at the first full week of November, not a bad forecast here. Temperatures in the upper 60s, about 70 degrees. Next weekend looks warmer than this weekend. And you're up to date with the latest First Alert forecast.
Okay, up and down, Damon. Thank you. Make sure that you download our new KOCO First Alert weather app that I mentioned. It's going to send you weather updates no matter where you are. So even if you go out of Oklahoma, the free app is available for Apple and Android devices.
Hey, want to go back out to Sky 5. They are over a park at Southwest Grand and Robinson. That's where a chase suspect was shot and killed by police. Police are still out there right now investigating. We'll stay on top of it.
Let's talk Commitment 2014 now. We are looking at campaign finance records from the governor's race.
And KOCO's Wendell Edwards looks at who spent and raised the most money.
In the race for governor, take a look at the campaign finance records filed October 20th, just 2 weeks before Election Day. Governor Mary Fallin raised more than $822,000 in the last filing period. State Rep Joe Dorman, more than $785,000 raised for the same time period. Those numbers awfully close to each other, but take a closer look at the overall numbers. Since his fundraising began in December, Dorman accepted about $1.5 million in contributions. The governor's war chest, however, nearly 3 times larger, standing at $4.4 million. She's been raising money and accepting donations since her re-election campaign started in 2011. And both sides spent big money, too, like on campaign ads, for example. Just before Election Day next week, for this last filing period, records show Fallin spent nearly $2 million. That's nearly double of what Joe Dorman, who spent nearly $1 million, according to his finance report. Both campaigns expressed gratitude to their financial supporters and contributors, hoping that that money translates into votes, with the election now only 5 days away. Wendell Edwards, KOCO 5 News.
Now, early voting started today across the state. It runs through Saturday. The election, again, as Wendell said, is Tuesday. You can find more Commitment 2014 coverage. It's all on our website at KOCO.com. You can actually hear from the candidates in their own words and see our Ad Truth tests.
The OSU Cowboys travel to Kansas on Saturday to play the Kansas State Wildcats. You can watch it right here on KOCO 5 starting at 7 o'clock, but make sure to tune in at 6 for the pregame show that we're going to have. And then right after the game, I'll be here with Paul and Damon for the 10 o'clock news.
Is it a change of heart? Next, why a woman with cancer who said she'd end her life may not follow through on Saturday.
I feel for her. Hey, make sure to stop by the free National Weather Festival on Saturday. It's from 10 in the morning till 2. At the National Weather Center in Norman, Damon, Danielle, Brad, Jonathan, the whole weather team will be out there along with Paul and I and some of our other crew members. And you can also check out Sky 5 and our chase vehicles. So we'll see you Saturday from 10 to 2.
A woman with cancer who plans to take her own life on Saturday released a new video.
Brittany Maynard says that she checked the last item off her bucket list when she visited the Grand Canyon with her family last week. Maynard first made headlines after posting her plans to take her own life on her blog. She moved to Oregon, where assisted suicide is legal, and she plans to end her life on Saturday, but says if she wakes up that day feeling well, she may not do it.
November 2nd comes along and I've passed. I hope my family is still proud of me and the choices I made. And if November 2nd comes along and I'm still alive, I know that we'll just still be moving forward as a family, like out of love for each other, and that decision will come later.
Wow. Well, Brittany says that she lives a normal life day to day for the most part, but painful seizures and headaches are a constant reminder she's not the same person she was less than a year ago. Actually, doctors told Brittany in April that she only had 6 months to live.
A man in a burning car was pulled to safety by police in northwest Arkansas. Look at that fire. Dash cam video is what you're looking at. Early Tuesday morning, Fayetteville, officers walked up to the car. They found the man asleep in that burning car. His foot was on the gas pedal. Officers pulled the man out of the car. He was eventually taken to jail on a DWI charge.
A missing piece to the puzzle. How a small piece of metal could help researchers figure out what happened to Amelia Earhart.
And you can help a